Hi everybody, today we are talking about quadrilaterals. Quadrilaterals are polygons with 4 sides. These are some of the ways a quadrilateral can look. They all are shapes with 4 sides. Quadrilaterals are classified by their properties. First up is a parallelogram. A parallelogram is a polygon because it's a plane closed figure with sides. It has 4 sides, so that makes it a quadrilateral. The opposite sides are congruent, meaning same size, and the opposite angles are congruent. And the most important thing about a parallelogram is the opposite sides are parallel. These shapes would be classified as a parallelogram because each and every side has a parallel buddy across from it. And the opposite sides are also congruent, so they're parallelograms. Next up, we have a rectangle. The properties of a rectangle are: it is a polygon, plane closed figure, also has 4 sides, so it's a quadrilateral. The opposite sides are congruent and parallel, so it's a parallelogram. And most importantly, a rectangle has 4 right angles. No right angles, no rectangle. Most of us probably picture this shape when we think of a rectangle. It has 4 right angles. Opposite sides are congruent, but it also can look like this. It can look more like a square. Still 4 right angles. Opposite sides are congruent because all of the sides are going to be congruent. A square is a rectangle also. And speaking of square, that's our next quadrilateral. So a square is a polygon. It's a plane closed figure. Quadrilateral because it has 4 sides. It is a parallelogram because opposite sides are congruent and parallel. It's a rectangle like we just talked about, so it has 4 right angles. And most importantly, all the sides are congruent. Here's one example of a square like you're used to seeing. 4 right angles, all sides congruent. It's easy to recognize this one as a square, but also it's still a square, even if we kind of turn it up on ends like this, where it looks more like a diamond. It's a square. 4 right angles, all congruent sides. It's the sizes of the angles and the congruent sides that'll tell you if it's a square or not. Next we have a rhombus. So a rhombus is a polygon. It is a quadrilateral, it's 4 sides. It is a parallelogram, opposite sides are congruent and parallel, and it has all congruent sides. So the difference between a rhombus and a square is a square has to have 90-degree angles. A rhombus might, but it might not. These are 2 examples of a rhombus. The quick way to identify a rhombus is just look at the sides. If it's a quadrilateral with congruent sides, it's a rhombus. And now on to a kite. A kite is a polygon. It's a quadrilateral since it has 4 sides. The different thing about a kite is that congruent sides are touching instead of being opposite of each other. So here's an example of a kite, and those sides are congruent and they're touching. 2 other congruent sides, but they're touching instead of being opposites. That's what makes it a kite. And our last shape is a trapezoid. Now there are 2 definitions for a trapezoid. We'll talk about those in class. One is an inclusive definition, one is an exclusive definition. We're going to use the exclusive one. So the exclusive one mainly says a trapezoid can have only 1 pair of parallel sides. Here's a trapezoid because it has 4 sides, but only 1 pair of them run parallel to each other. Only 1 pair. That's why it's a trapezoid. Here's another example of a trapezoid. 4 sides, but only 1 pair is parallel to each other. The other pair of sides are not. And that is it. That is our super fast rundown of quadrilaterals. If you'd like to check out another fun video on quadrilaterals, you can watch my other video called Who's a Smart Bunny? Have fun. See you next time. Hey, I've got a joke for you. Why was the student late for school? Because she got on the wrong bus. See what I did there?